Daniels in the days leading up to the 2016 presidential campaign. Arizona Governor Katie Hobbs has signed a bill that repeals the state's near-total ban on abortion. Mark Mayfield with a story.
Two Republicans joined with all Democrats in the state Senate Wednesday in voting to repeal the 1864 law that was upheld by the Arizona Supreme Court last month. It bans all abortions except in cases where it's necessary to save the mother's life. The State House voted on and passed the measure last week. With the repeal, the state's 2022 law that bans abortion after 15 weeks of pregnancy will be reinstated.
Dow futures have jumped 300 points after Apple releases its earnings report. I'm Michael Kastner.
Good morning and welcome to Coffee Ann, the longest-running panel discussion show in American radio. To make a comment or ask a question of the panel, call 401-766-1240 or email coffee@woonsocket.radio.com. And now, let's join the Coffee Ann panel.
All right, it's Coffee Ann around the world and across the nation. Good morning, everybody. Joe Callahan still on vacation. Dave Richards filling in right here. And boy, it's guest day today. We've got a really nice couple of people here in the studio. I can't wait to introduce them to you. First of all, Amy Sinkmars is here. I've been telling people all week that you're coming to see us today. And Amy, we're very, very excited for what's coming up a week from tonight over in Cumberland. Because it's a great first step toward trying to keep the Y Pool open here in Woonsocket down on Main Street. And thanks for being with us on Coffee Ann.
Thanks for having me.
Is this your first time on the show?
Yes.
Well, the show's been here for 76 plus years. What have you been waiting for?
Today. I've been waiting for today.
Just kidding, just kidding. And also with her, because he feels so very strongly about the project, here for his second consecutive day on the Coffee Ann Show, Mayor Chris Beauchamp. How you doing, Chris?
Good morning, Dave. Hi, Amy. How are you? I've been here 2 days in a row, so you won't see me for a couple of months now.
Oh, is that so? Okay. Well, I don't think like you're wearing out a welcome, because you're welcome anytime, you know.
I'm kidding you.
All right.
Great to be here.
It certainly is. And so let's talk with Amy now about, we'll get into all the reasons why we want to do all this, but I want to make sure we mention the event next Friday night repeatedly during your visit. And you only got about half an hour, so I want to mention it. So let's start with that, mention it again, and then at the end we'll repeat all the nuts and bolts of the event that we are putting together to try to raise some money to help fund keeping the pool open here in Woonsocket. Amy.
Right. So a week from tonight, Friday, May 10th, we are having a Funny for Funds comedy fundraiser. It's going to be at the Cumberland Public Safety Union Hall, which is 7 Cray Street in Cumberland.
Right next to Forecourt.
Right next to Forecourt, yep.
People talk that way.
And the doors open at 7. The show starts at 8. It is bring your own snacks, which is great because we don't have to worry about, spending monies on providing food and beverage, non-alcoholic beverage. It's going to be a cash bar. We're going to have some raffles, silent auction, 50-50 drawing, and it is an 18-plus event.
We should point that out because it's comedy and people want to know that. By the way, while you're talking, Amy, we are joined now by Melissa Murray of the ON staff, and there she is.
Good morning.
Got the green glasses on today.
Yeah,
All righty. And we'll just say this, and maybe we should elaborate a little bit because some people are uncomfortable with a lot of bad language. But then again, the average language that you hear on the streets every day is not a big problem for them. That's about where we are. It's 18 plus because there may be jokes about things that aren't appropriate for young people.
correct.
But at the same time, we're not going to be spewing F-bombs every other word and
No.
things like that. That's not the kind of
No.
comedy we're looking at. So when they hear 18 and above, they shouldn't be thinking that way. I just want to make sure we clarify it so people will want to go.
Yeah, and I can't guarantee that the comics won't use a
Well,
little bit of those words.
yeah.
But it is definitely for 18 plus. It is.
Right.
It's not going to be a Chris Rock show.
No. We'll tone it. We're toning it down a little bit.
Okay, all right, very good. Continue on then.
So the tickets are 25 a ticket. We are also accepting donations and sponsorships. If you want to donate, if you can't make the show but still want to help, you're better off to donate, because the tickets, I really want to fill the hall. I
Yeah.
really want, it holds 150 people.
Oh, really? That'll be a nice intimate gathering, won't it?
Right. So I'd love for a full packed house for the comedians.
Oh, yeah.
But if you can't make it, you have other stuff. It's the beginning of summer season and spring and, people's plans, but you still want to help. You can still donate as much as you'd like or as little as you can. And you can also do a sponsorship as well. That is all on the website. We have QR codes. There is a funnyforfunds.com/events. So it's funny, the number 4 funds.com/events. You can contact myself. My number is 401-318-0945. If I don't answer, please leave a message. I will get back to you. So yeah, we are predicting that it's going to be a fun night.
Now, there's something else that I want to be sure that you mention to people, because when you're thinking about these things, you say, well, maybe, I don't know, I'm going to a comedy night, stuff like that. But there is something else that's going on there that's not the top of the title, not the top of the bill, but a lot of people love to go for those silent auctions.
Yes.
Right? You've got one of those coming. And before we started the show today, Amy, you were telling me some of the items that you've gotten for those silent auction. So can you go over some of those for the people listening in?
Sure. So we are going to have silent auction vacations. Some are international, some are national. One of them is a trip to Palm Springs, California. Another one, I believe, because I don't have the list in front of me, but I think one is to New Orleans. Then there are
Chris said there was one to New York.
Yes, we have a company that's donated, excuse me, 2 tickets to Yankee Stadium, 2 great seats to go to New York. I don't know what game it is, but I can get that information, and those will be raffled
People will
off.
find out when they go.
Yeah, and we have foursomes potentially at Kirkbride, New England Country Club. I'm going to talk to Crystal Lake in Burrillville. So I think we're going to have a couple of foursomes, or at least 3 of them to raffle off.
And Crystal Lake, I'm finding, is really kind of like the, I don't know, it's almost like the big secret in Rhode Island golf. I mean, it doesn't have the big name that a lot of the other ones down near the bay do, or some of the ones that have been around for 200 plus years, because it's a newer golf course. But it's got a lot going for it, and I know that I've spoken to people who have played it, and they say this is a fun place.
Yeah, it's
So,
it's a very nice golf course. It's underrated, I think, as
That's
you just
the word I
said.
was looking for, underrated. Yeah.
It's underrated, and we got a lot of. We're going to have gift certificates from local restaurants. So we got a lot of good things. But more importantly, as Amy said, I would like to just make sure that if you got a next Friday night, if you're available, come on out for a great night. The comedian, what's his name, Amy?
Bill Simus.
Bill Simus. I met him. He was a riot. Kind of reminded me with his jokes of like Rodney Dangerfield, where funny jokes, clean but good. So it was a pleasure meeting him, and he's excited for the show. So hopefully we can get as many people there as possible.
That's the sort of thing I'd love to broadcast, but then you can't do that because then you put all of his stuff out on the it makes it tough for him to work afterwards. So that's why we won't do that. But and besides, we want to fill the hall, so we want people to go there. And why are we going? Obviously, I don't think I've run into anybody who first didn't think that we should not have a pool locally. Because there was a great deal of, there's a great deal of need at all different levels, so many different levels of the community. Now, you've got the Woonsocket Whalers, of course, and that's one aspect. But there were a lot of reasons why people who have bone joint pain or rehab needs, where work in a pool is absolutely vital to the success of the therapies that they're using. So and this is why we have to have this here.
Exactly.
And we've got it here, but we're about to lose it before people like you and Chris stepped in here and says, okay, wait a minute. If it's only money, we can fix that. And Chris, I think, had some very sincere conversations with some very sincere people and said, listen, okay, we've got to get everybody lined up in a row. If it's only money, we'll figure it out.
Right.
But if we don't have everybody on board, and it looks like we've got all the important people on board, right, Chris?
Yes, I was there 2 days ago with a bunch of people looking at the building. I'm very pleasantly surprised in the shape of the existing pool and the surrounding building, and we went down Sulla. I mean, it does need some work, but it's a great pool. It's a great location. Old post office, got a lot of history for the city of Woonsocket. And listen, like I said earlier, I was swimming there at the old pool back in the 70s with my grandfather, who was on the police department. So I got a lot of memories of that pool. And like many other people in Woonsocket, we want to see it continue because there's nowhere else for our kids, for our elderly people to swim. And I think it's imperative that we do whatever we can to save it.
Did you want to add something in there, Melissa?
Oh, I wholeheartedly agree that access is something that's important, especially for all ages, children to seniors, and it's really important that kids learn how to swim because someday it can literally save their life. So if they don't have
Amy's smiling
that
because
opportunity, then
I told her a little secret there. I learned how to swim at age 62.
You're never too
you're
old to
right.
learn how
No,
to
you're
swim.
right,
That's
right,
right.
right. And and
We are the ocean state.
we are the ocean state. I mean,
And
the
I learned-
ocean's a whole different
And
deal.
I learned
but,
to swim at the Y.
Yeah.
So, okay.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
it was
right.
necessary at that point. I don't know. Life circumstances I won't go into. I just never needed, after I was an adult and supporting the family and the rest of that stuff, I just never needed to. So I didn't until later on I took a job where I needed to.
Yeah, and I learned to swim, and I was thinking, how did I learn to swim from living in Woonsocket? I was lucky enough to grow up. My grandmother, who was in Cumberland, had an in-ground pool, and I would go there every day in the summer. So lucky to have that. But that's how I learned to swim, and I'm a really great swimmer now. But if I hadn't had that, would I have even learned? I'm not sure.
It's important. So, Amy, let's talk again about how you and your group uses the pool, because I think that some things have been written about it, but maybe our radio audience doesn't know about that work that you do with the youngsters and how you use the pool is what I wanted to ask.
So the backstory, the short of the long of the backstory is my daughter is 14. She's been competitively swimming in the Y system for 8 years. This was her 8th season.
Wow.
So, and the reason why I started her swimming, because she was going to camp
Right.
when she was little. And at camp, they go swimming in the lake.
Yeah.
Well, being the mom that I am, I didn't trust anyone else to save my kid in a lake. So I signed her up for swimming lessons,
I get you.
right? So,
Yeah.
but she,
Well, what's wrong with that? I took the swimming lessons, and they give you a lot of self-confidence.
right, exactly. So she was taking the swim lessons, and then one of the instructors approached me and said, wow, she's a pretty good swimmer. We have a team. This was at another Y. You should put her on the team. And I said, oh my God, all right. And here we are 8 years later. She's 14. She's on the senior level swim team, swim practice squad. So,
Really?
she's just, it's just flourished over 8 years.
My goodness. Is she a freshman in school now?
She'll be a freshman next year. in
Next
school.
year.
Yeah, so she's in
Okay.
8th grade now. Yeah. So, I just became involved as a swim official, going to all the swim meets. You start out volunteering and timing. So it just it's our life. It's been our life. And a few life changes happened. So we came on to the Woonsocket YMCA Whaler team.
Right.
I can't remember if it was before or after COVID, but in that whole
Right.
area. And how I became head coach was the former head coach retired,
Right.
and we're kind of waiting in the winds of like who's gonna coach the team. So I spoke with the aquatics director at the time, and I said, hey, you know, what's going on? He said, oh, I kind of don't know, you know. I said, well, I'll do it. And he was like, you'll do it? I said, yep, I'll do it. So that's how I became the head coach. And, you know, I had fantastic assistant coaches. I mean, they had more experience coaching, you know,
Right.
but I just
But they
kinda-
needed an organizer, a head.
Yeah, and so the season was going great, and then December 1st is when
Right.
the
got
bomb
the
got
word.
dropped, and I said, we're in the middle of swim season. I can't, what am I gonna do with these kids?
Right.
Like, I gotta do something. So that was a Friday. The following Monday, here I am. I show up at the city council meeting, and here we are today, about to literally keep the pool.
That was a good move. That was a good move. Because that's when I first heard about it. Because we broadcast the meetings. Did you know you were on the radio then?
Nope.
Nope.
Now I know.
All right. Well, anyway, Amy Sinkmars, Mayor Beauchamp is here as well. We have to take a little break here. We'll be right back with more and talk with them about the big event coming up next Friday night, a week from tonight, in Cumberland to raise some money to keep the Y pool open.
Ed Carew here of the Carew Investment Group, 68 Cumberland Street in Woonsocket. Our telephone number is 765-8880. In business, you don't last long if you don't know what you're doing. And if that's the case, I must know a thing or two. I've been in the investing business since 1987, helping people just like you with their investments. At the Carew Investment Group, we employ a conservative approach to client portfolios by using only the best quality companies available, many of which pay a quarterly dividend. We look for opportunities that we expect will go up in value, not every day, but over time. We take our responsibility seriously and always place our client needs first in any investment decision. If you want to know more or would like a free portfolio review of your current holdings, call Ed at 765-8880. Securities offered through Bolton Global Capital, member FINRA and SIPC, and advisory services offered through Bolton Global Asset Management, a registered investment advisor.
This Sunday, May the 5th, is Cinco de Mayo. Celebrate by coming to Bandito's Mexican Restaurant. Now open at 2120 Diamond Hill Road in Woonsocket. They feature traditional delicacies from Mexico. Bandito's Mexican Restaurant serves signature dishes such as camarones, asado, fajitas, enchiladas. Dine in or take out. Bandito's Mexican Restaurant is open daily at noontime. Our newest location is on Diamond Hill Road in Woonsocket, and they have two other local locations at Broad Street in Cumberland and Park Street in Attleboro. Bandito's Mexican Restaurant brings the flavors and spirit of Mexico to their restaurants. Enjoy your meal, or as they like to say at Bandito's Mexican Restaurant, buen provecho.
The Coffee and Panel is enjoying coffee from Down East Coffee Roasters. All their coffee is roasted right here in Rhode Island. Down East Coffee Roasters is available at all Little General stores.
Yes, and of course, Bandito's Mexican Restaurant is our business of the day today. We have different business of the day all weekdays during May. At the end of May, you send us the list. Shows that you're listening and you're entered in a contest. Got $100, $75, and $50 gift card from your choice of any one of the businesses of the day. It could be Bandito's, which is our business of the day today. Dave Richards here, along with Melissa Murray and Amy Sinkmars and Mayor Chris Beauchamp. Chris, did you want to talk about some of the things with the pool? Now, if we're raising money now, yes, for those who missed you yesterday, if we're raising money now, and we hope to do well, raising money to run a pool is an ongoing concern. Would you like to just talk about for a minute the other plans to fund this project?
So it probably costs between, I'm going to say $15,000 to $20,000 a month to run the pool.
$15,000 to $20,000 a month. People they remarked to me all day yesterday that they couldn't believe it was that much.
Well, that's what
I wasn't surprised because
what we've
you have all
had-
these pumps and everything.
Yeah, it's the electricity, it's the heat, it's the pumps, it's the chemicals, lifeguard, insurance.
Right.
So there's a lot of things involved. I'm working with several organizations and still the Pawtucket Y about possibly coming on board to help us, run the pool once hopefully the city takes over the building, and that's the game plan. And also,
Ultimately, that's what everybody would like to see. If
Yeah.
you can figure out to do it the way that is fiscally responsible and politically doable.
yeah, and that's the challenge right now, because obviously Woonsocket's on a tight budget, and we know, we don't have millions of dollars to just throw around. But
Not anymore.
what happens is, if you have a game plan and you set up a sustainable revenue stream per month,
Right.
I think we can continue this. So that's what we're working on. Exactly what it costs. I'm getting that information from various Ys, how they do it, what they do, and I'll have a breakdown for the city council. We'll talk about it. Maybe the city can donate some money out of the ARPA funds to kind of help, kickstart this, if you will.
Right.
But I also wanted to mention that, people were a little hesitant to give prior because they thought the Pawtucket Y was going to, all go in their coffers and not specifically for our pool.
Right.
But we have a restricted account set up at City Hall. So if you want to send a check to City Hall, send it to the City of Woonsocket. Just put a notation, Y pool, save the Y pool in a note, and it'll go in that restricted account. And we've already received several checks, and that's how we're going to hopefully sustain this month by month and going forward.
And isn't it a wonderful thing then? I don't know, I can't even think right now of a particular municipality that actually is going to such lengths to make sure that there is a pool available for the residents.
Well, it's been a
Certainly, it's the only place in Rhode Island that I'm aware of.
it's a really a pet project for me, as with Amy and Melissa also, because it's so vital to the city. I mean, we have our splash park, but that's it. That's all we have for kids to, get out of the heat in the summer or learn how to swim. And obviously, you can't do that at a splash park.
Well,
So
yeah.
this is key to
The splash
keeping
park
this in the
became
city.
necessary because of what was going on with the pond.
Yeah.
And
Correct.
it's too bad. That was tragic.
Yeah.
That was just totally wrong from the beginning, but it's like what happened with the pond, because the pond was beautiful. The fountain and the rest of it, you just couldn't keep it going that way.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'm truly amazed at the shape of this building, what it entails, and we have a gentleman that worked there for 18 years that hopefully we're going to retain. He knows every inch of the building, so we got a lot of things in place already. We're just trying to put the whole outline together and make sure we can sustain this. And listen, a year, 2 years down the road, if things get different and a little difficult, we'll come across that bridge when we do. But I think we have a plan right now to move this forward.
But Chris, you won't have a choice 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 years from now if you don't do something now, because it'll be gone.
Correct.
And you won't be able to put it back together. Saving it is a lot less expensive than
And
building
rebuild
it.
No, there's no doubt about it.
So
That-
if you lose it now, if it shuts down, things start going to pieces. So you've got to keep it up.
And I just want to quickly say that, there were some people that said there's nobody in there's nobody swimming now, so it's in bad shape.
Well, the doors are closed. You don't see them.
It's not. The pool has been having the chemicals every day. It's been monitored. It still will be monitored, so it's in great shape, as Amy and I know, because we were there the other day.
Beautiful.
The water is pristine. It's crystal clear.
That's nice.
Yeah. So another reason why the pool is vital is our fire departments, our local fire departments. So they need to water train, right, for water rescue.
That's right. Yeah.
Right. So when the Y was operational, I know that the Cumberland Fire Department used the pool to do their water rescue training and dive training and such. So this could be, it will be a fantastic use for, local police, fire department, water dive rescue training, such as that. So it's full circle
Well,
use.
that's what I was saying. That a pool in a community that is well maintained, that is safe for everybody, is something that's an asset and something that can be part of different people's lives at all different levels of the community. So, like you're talking about public safety, we're talking about kids and students and older people who need help because of the joints are wearing out and that sort of thing like that. So not everybody in the community would go there, but everybody in the community could need to go there.
Correct. That's spot on.
You
Well
the-
s- well
like,
said.
Like
Well
what I
said.
Oh, thank you. Well, write it down. It's yours. I give you the trademark.
And Woonsocket deserves this. You know, like I think one of the best investments we ever made in our parks is the splash pad. That was like an equity
Yeah, that was a
investment.
not giving up sort of thing.
Right. That was an equity investment and an access, issue for our kids who don't always get to go to the beach or, have to sit on a bus for however many, like hour and a half to get to the beach. But this is an investment too, and it's about equity and inclusion,
Yeah.
and we deserve it.
Well, I spent a lot of time down at the ocean. I can testify to the fact that you don't learn to swim at the ocean.
No, you do not.
If you don't already know how to swim,
Right.
the best you're going to do is body surf down there.
Yeah.
Yeah, which I did all the time. I body surfed. I loved it when I was a kid. I still have the scars on my chest to prove it.
And you don't, when you swim in a pool,
The
you
beach
don't-
was a little closer than I thought.
when you swim in a pool, you don't end up with sand in your bathing suit. So
Right. Right.
Good one.
right,
Write that
right.
one down. Let's trademark that comment too. All right. Well, we only have about 2 or 3 minutes to go. So let's start at the top of our poster and start talking about what's coming up a week from tonight in Cumberland to benefit the Y Pool in Woonsocket. We'll call it the Woonsocket Pool.
yes.
What do you think, huh?
Sounds good.
The Woonsocket Pool. Go ahead, Amy.
All right, so we are having a Funny for Funds comedy fundraiser. It's going to be the headliner comic is Bill Simus. It is going to be next Friday, May 10th. Doors open at 7. Show starts at 8. It's at the Cumberland Public Safety Union Hall, which is 7 Cray Street, across the street from Forecourt,
Right.
in Cumberland.
Which is just a block off of Mendon Road. If you're coming down from Woonsocket, it's on the right.
Yep.
There's a big sign there that says Cray Street, and you see the signs for Forecourt. Just turn
Exactly.
right there.
Exactly. So it is bring your own snacks. It's a cash bar, raffles, 50-50 drawing, silent auctions. It is an 18-plus event.
Right.
So tickets are $25. If you're going to purchase a ticket, we want to fill the venue. So it seats 150 people. If you can't make it but still want to donate, you can scan the QR code, go to the link funny with the number 4 funds.com/events, and you can donate or make a sponsorship. But we want to fill the venue.
And just to reiterate, in case somebody missed the beginning, when we were delving a little deeper into that, you said it's an 18-plus show.
Yes.
But that does not mean that it's just wall-to-wall vulgarity.
Correct.
It simply means that there may be themes in the humor that are not appropriate for children.
Yes.
Right. And
Means parents get a babysitter and come on out to this comedy fundraiser.
Exactly. This would be no worse than walking down this. Actually, be better than walking down some streets, I think, and hearing people talking as you're going by. And it'll be funny because Mayor Beauchamp has already checked this guy out, and he's funny like nothing, right?
He's very good. I think you'll enjoy him. And the key is, like, we don't want to be embarrassed. We want people there.
Of course.
So please, just come out. It's a good night. It's going to be fun. You'll meet people. You'll see your friends. And you'll meet some people maybe you don't know. And it's a good event. So we encourage everybody to come and save the Woonsocket Pool.
Now we already have a poster up here in the lobby, so if you want to come by and use the QR code, you can do that. But Melissa, tell everybody where they're going to find the poster on our social media pages.
So there is the poster on the social media pages. I got to bump it up. So give me a couple of minutes after the show.
Well, that's
to
the
log
problem with
on,
social
right?
media. You have to
That
keep, you have to keep
We-
redoing it.
We post a lot
What-
actually on our
yeah.
Facebook page. So
What
you
about
can
the
go to
website?
our website.
Is there a story on it on the website? You
so-
can pull up a poster.
Yep. So
Some
you can
people don't
also
care much for
go-
social media. Just go to the
Right.
website, wonsocketradio.com.
And you can go to the website. The easiest way to find it is you can go to the website and you can click on our events link.
Yeah.
And we have a whole schedule of events of all kinds of stuff that's going on in the city. But there is also this listed in the May events, and you can see information there, and there is also a link to donate.
And I just want to make one, so I know some people can be hesitant to putting in credit card numbers and such. Bill has assured both the mayor and myself that it is top-notch security when putting in a credit card
Right.
for purchasing your tickets, donations, or sponsorships. So
He's been doing this for over 10 years. He's never had a problem.
He's never
He's
had a
very sophisticated
I
and
know.
very much secure.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. When we did online payments on the
Yeah.
website, our website took, what, 3 years for us to get it right before we released it to the public to use because of security.
yeah.
So I know what he's going through.
So just know that it's 150 million% secure.
Excellent, excellent. As secure as it gets in 2024.
Exactly.
Right.
All right. Well, very, very nice. Amy Sinkmars, thanks for coming over.
Thanks for having
and
me.
taking time out of your busy day to see us here on Coffee. And we'll see you next Friday night, a week from tonight. 7 o'clock doors open, you say?
Yes. Yep.
All right. And then 8 o'clock, a nice comedy show. The comedy show is a means to bring people in to help us raise some money.
Exactly.
And the tickets are so reasonably priced. You said they were what?
25.
$25 a piece, right?
Yes.
All right.
And one last thing, if you can get 10 people, I can reserve tables. So a full,
that's cool.
A full
yeah,
table
that's
of
great.
10, I can reserve the table.
Nice.
You can sit with all your friends,
Yep.
right?
Oh, that's
Coordinate
sometimes-
snacks.
That's very cool. Yeah, coordinate snacks. Okay. Chris, and thanks so much for coming by and helping us with all the announcements. You gave us the story behind the story on that from the city's angle.
I appreciate you promoting this too, Dave, and your station, so thank you very much.
All right. Well, you're very welcome to that because we recognize it right away as something that's very, very important to everybody. Well, I'm afraid we have to say goodbye to our company, and we'll have to take our little break over here. Melissa, you're not excused. We'll be talking to you in the next portion of the program.
I'll stick around.
And Richard Lane is also due to come in as well. We'll start off with the forecast sponsored by the folks at Juicy Juice. You know, when you're paying the right price for protection, you just know it. It's that warm, fuzzy, totally secure feeling, knowing that you're not only getting great coverage, but you're also not paying too much for it. And when it comes to your insurance, there's no one better at getting the right price for your protection than Allstate agents Kara and Celeste Benjamin, because they know when it comes to your bank account, every penny counts towards something bigger, something better. Like a nicer car, that home update you've been dreaming of, or a phone that's fresh out of the box. Those little or big things that we work so hard for. And Kara and Celeste Benjamin want to help you work a little less by getting you the coverage you need and the savings you deserve when you switch to Allstate. Contact Kara and Celeste Benjamin at the Benjamin Agency. One agency, 2 locations in North Smithfield and Bellingham. 765-5000 for a free quote today. Allstate, you're in good hands. And you're in good hands with Kara and Celeste Benjamin at the Benjamin Agency. Savings vary based on the average annual savings reported by new auto customers surveyed in 2019 who switched to Allstate. I did it again, folks. And now it's time for the forecast brought to you by Juicy Juice. Mostly cloudy skies today with a high near 61 degrees. Tonight, partly cloudy, overnight low of 41. Saturday's weather, partly sunny skies with a high of 62. Sunday, cloudy skies, 56. Monday, a chance of showers before 1 p.m., but a small chance. Mostly cloudy skies all day, high of 73. Tuesday, mostly sunshine with a high of 75. Wednesday, mostly cloudy, 71. And Thursday, mostly cloudy and a high of 68. Juicy Juice is 100% juice, which means no sugar added and no artificial sweeteners. Just fill the full fruit flavor into your mouth. Kids love it too. Find Juicy Juice at your favorite local grocery retailer. Information at juicyjuice.com. 54 degrees. Coffee and continues in just a moment.
In a world where good food, friendly faces, and unforgettable memories collide, there's one place that stands out from the rest. Gators Pub is proudly celebrating 35 years of excellence in North Smithfield. Join us at Gators Pub, where every visit feels like coming home. Our secret to success? It's simple. Our super friendly staff and mouth-watering dishes prepared fresh daily by our talented chefs. Sink your teeth into our delectable lunch specials from Monday through Thursday and savor complimentary soup to warm your soul. Enjoy the game day excitement with multiple TVs showing the Boston Red Sox while indulging in classic appetizers like our famous potato skins and pita chips. Looking for a lively atmosphere to watch volleyball games? Look no further. Pair it with our juicy burgers or the latest cocktail creations to elevate your experience. Gators Pub, your ultimate destination for good times and great food. Come and celebrate with us at Gators Pub on Route 102, just a mile before Wright's Chicken Farm. Make every moment memorable at Gators Pub, where good friends and great flavors meet. Remember, there are no strangers at Gators Pub, just good friends you haven't met yet.
Here's what's coming up next. Greatest Hits USA.
Hey, this is Chuck Matthews on Greatest Hits USA. And coming up this weekend, we are going to answer the following questions. What song was turned down by the Beatles? Who had an obsession with Disneyland? And who had the #1 record this week in 1970? Find out. Turn it up this weekend right here.
Greatest Hits USA.
We're back on the radio. We're just saying goodbye to Amy's just leaving the studio. You know, she was so nervous when she first started, Melissa, but I think we made her feel comfortable here,
Yeah,
huh?
it was. I think it was
I'll
great.
take that cup from you, dear. All right, thank you.
Yep.
All righty. Well, yeah, go right ahead. Just take off. Melissa and I got to chat for a few minutes. I wonder where Rich is.
I don't know.
The rooster's not here.
I don't know.
Well, I'm prepared. There are things that we can talk about.
There are.
But what I'm prepared for does not include what's going on at the Post.
I can look that up during the next break, and then we can fill in
that'd
for
be
Rich.
a good idea. But
Yeah.
As I said, I'm prepared. I have my copies of the Valley Breeze newspaper right here, and here's the copy of the Cumberland and Lincoln edition of the Valley Breeze I have in my hand right now. And it says here on the front page of the Valley Breeze, Dean, that's Brad Dean, CEO of longtime town business Dean Warehouse, is going to run against Mayor Mudherd in Cumberland for the mayoral seat there. All kinds of different things. Then we have Nakvi and Mativia are the top Lincoln High School class of 2024 students. That's in Lincoln High School. Little League Day opened up, and the new owners and fresh concept at the Tap in Cumberland. Ethan Shorey has the story. We mentioned the news stories on the front page. Lots of news stories on the inside, too, plus great ads. And in the Blackstone, Woonsocket, and North Smithfield edition of the Valley Breeze, North Smithfield has this big story here right across the top. Ethan Shorey wrote it about the sense of urgency North Smithfield is feeling as the council explores the reworked plan for the police station, since, of course, their original plan was rejected by voters. And there's a nice story in here about Woonsocket's Brickell Group. Mayor Beauchamp mentioned this yesterday on our program, and there's a big story in there with all kinds of details. And there's an offer in place for the former Broncos Highway Restaurant and Activities Center. If I recall, which one is that? Is that the one? Yeah, that's the one that used to be Mr. Doughboy, I believe.
Maybe.
There's been so much construction on Broncos Highway.
I know.
And pretty close by there, too, that it's been difficult. But some people have a good idea. You know, the original owners went through all kinds of adversity to try to get that train, the small train that you could pay to ride around the property.
Yeah.
And because they actually had to go to the federal government and get a license as a railroad for this little tiny train that kids
insane.
would take around.
Yep.
And then they had batting cages there and a putting green and that sort of thing like that. So it'd be nice to see that stuff coming back to Burrowville, and you can read all about it in the Valley Breeze newspapers, free where you shop every Thursday. Well, Melissa, big things happening down in Providence. Yesterday,
Fast and Furious.
4 o'clock, the rise of the House, the rise of the Senate. They actually got, let's see, I don't have it in front of me. Yes, I do now. The bill requiring RIDOT to provide monthly reports
Yes.
on the Washington Bridge project from now until they're all done rebuilding it and open it to the public.
That's
And
right.
they want a report every month, whether you're in session or not.
Yep.
And if the legislature's not there, give it to the governor, and like that. Now, okay, your average person is going to look at this, Melissa, and I want to get the story behind the story. There's got to be a story behind the story. You heard the debate, but the average person is going to look at this. Oh yeah, great. First of all, could you believe what they said? Second of all, you're going to slow work down because they're going to be so busy making out reports. Blah blah blah, like this. Why did we go through this action? Other than the fact that the East Providence legislators demanded it because
Yeah.
they're the community that's being really affected by this.
So the East Providence legislators actually have been meeting every single Friday, every week, for many
Their own
weeks.
little committee.
Yes, to get updates because their constituents are demanding it. And,
Right.
you know, when you're getting incessant calls and saying, what is going on now? What is being done? When is this going to be done? When is that going to be done? You need to be accountable for that, even
You gotta have
though
an answer.
you have to have answers,
You can't
right?
say, I don't know.
And that means that information needs to be channeled to not only the governor, but the elected officials who represent those citizens. And, you know, this is a huge deal for the East Bay and for East Providence and for Providence too. And so the idea is that, you know, if someone calls us and says, what is going on, then we need to know what's going on. So I haven't been a part of those weekly meetings because honestly, not.
Oh, we've been posting weekly DOT updates on
Yeah.
our website in the
Right.
news department.
And so if they can and have been providing weekly information, you know, through other channels, but not everybody
The
goes.
reasoning is that a monthly
Yeah,
update
right.
on that one particular project shouldn't be a burden.
Right, an overview, right. It's transparency, you
Mm-hmm.
know, because that way they can't say, oh, well, you
Why'd
know.
you have to make it a law? Why wouldn't DOT just pledge to do it anyway?
Well, sometimes you have to compel folks to.
Well, that's what put the red flag off in my mind. Why wouldn't DOT do it? It must be something to do with cost or complexity or staffing or something else like that.
No, sometimes
and if
it's
so,
just
why are we burdening them?
Sure. Sometimes it's just a transparency issue. And I'll use something else as an example. I had sponsored a bill last year that got passed that asked a certain department to give us certain data by January 1st. I didn't receive the data January 1st. No one else. They said, oh, we sent it. Well, who did you send it to? And then I got the data in April. And
Really?
the report was dated April 9th, the one that was supposedly sent to someone else, right? So that was required, but, you know, I had to follow up.
No kidding.
I had to follow up, you know, even though it was law and it was required, and so theoretically it was done. Okay, sure.
Right.
It didn't get my way, right? So I have that information now, and now we go to the next steps and the next report. Actually, there's an action item, and it is required to be done by December of this year. So we're going to make sure that happens. But sometimes you have to compel departments to do it, and sometimes it's
Maybe we should just say
remind them that there's certain.
that they promised they were going to do this.
Yeah.
All
Well,
right.
I asked for this 3 times, and we didn't get it. So now
Oh, come on. You
I'm
start
gonna...
sounding like John Ward back in the other administration. Okay.
Sometimes you need to do it. So
Yeah. Okay. I don't
That's
know if you
why.
want to talk about this is a hot subject here, but you know, a lot of people who are very, you know, they may have a nice property or a property they try to keep up as nicely as they can afford to, and they may have neighbors who are letting their property run down, and this is a concern for people in neighborhoods, and it's a rightful concern, of course. But it goes to the nth degree of a property falling into disrepair, becoming unoccupied, and vermin and such, you know, will collect there because they're unchallenged.
yeah.
And then if the building is taken down, sometimes those creatures move into the neighborhood and start pestering those who had nothing to do with it in the first place. So I get that. But that was the comment that I heard when they put out the news story about the pro-Palestine protests ending at Brown. they made a deal, but what are you going to do with the outside agitators? You got to keep them busy somehow. So they said, well, you got more than one college in this town. So they started fanning out into other places like PC, Salva Regina, and Rhode Island School of Design, and that sort of thing like that. And they're taking different tacks in different places. They're not taking over the buildings per se, but they're making their demands known for change. And it's not the same changes that they were asking for over at Brown. That's not true. Salva Regina, I guess they found out there was some investment in weapons manufacturers for Salva Regina's portfolio. So that was kind of the same. But then they just want PC to release an official statement saying they're against it.
So the demands are different for
Right.
every.
And the Rhode Island
Yeah.
School of Design, they say some students have started a pro-divestment strike from classes. Bad timing at this time of the year, I would
not
say.
not very good timing.
Final exams and stuff like that. I think we'll just not go to class.
And who does that hurt? It hurts them and their
Doesn't
parents,
hurt the
right?
school. Doesn't hurt the
they're
school.
not
They
getting
got
their
your
money
mo-
back.
they
They're
got
not
your
getting their
money
money back.
already. Oh,
Right.
yeah.
Right.
So that sounds a little Pyrrhic, like as in a Pyrrhic victory.
Yeah, so I think the strategy for the schools is, and maybe they didn't do it, some of the schools didn't do it early enough, saying, okay, if you're participating in this, then you are expelled, right? And most of those kids would, okay, I think I'm going to go back to my dorm, right? And who are you left with? Folks who don't belong on the property, who don't go to the school.
Right.
Right.
And I believe they said that there was fully 40%
40.
or more over
Yeah.
in California.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, not California, New York City, where they broke up at Columbia.
Yes.
Fully 40% of those arrested were not affiliated in any way with the school. And that they didn't belong.
Yeah.
Usually outside agitators at 40%, you'd expect 10, 15, 20%. This is more than twice the usual allowable limit of outside agitators.
And I also feel that this strategy from these outside agitators is meant to influence the presidential election. I know you don't
absolutely.
like, I mean, this is, and I'm sometimes
I
a
don't.
conspiracy theorist,
yeah.
but I think that this is political. This is meant to influence the election.
Political, yes. I don't
Yeah.
think it's that. I think it is subsidized by pro-Palestinian forces, either in or outside Gaza. It is subsidized to destabilize the relationship between the United States of America and Israel. And this is what they're trying to do, because Israel could do no wrong for so many years, even when they blew up one of our Navy ships. We just got over it.
Yeah, right.
But of course, they've never gotten along with many of the Arab tribes. So they are trying to further destabilize the relationship. And we see them getting a foothold with all of these protests that Israel would do well to be concerned. But then again, when you're prosecuting a war, you can't say, oh, yeah, well, one of our big supporters doesn't want us to bomb you anymore, so we won't.
Right. Well, I also
Yeah,
am
that's
not
not how
sure
you
that
do a war.
like does Palestine even have the ability to, like, there are millions of people living in poverty and starving in Palestine. So how are they having the bandwidth to facilitate protests in the United States? I don't know if
By
that,
asking someone else to do it, who can?
by someone else, right? So,
Well, you
but
said
you know,
political,
I think,
and I see the political a little differently.
yeah, I see the political
It
a little
would
bit
be
differently.
short-sighted to focus on the U.S. presidential election.
Not
It would
necessarily.
be far-sighted to destabilize the relationship.
I think there's long and short term focus on the presidential election could change the course of relationships with other countries. So, you know, but at any rate, it's
temporarily.
gotten out of hand completely. And what do we do, right?
We take a break.
We take a break.
First, the
Literally.
second message. Yeah, first the second message from the Valley Breeze newspapers.
The Valley Breeze has been a local news leader since its founding in 1996, and more people are reading our stories today than ever before. We believe our mission of making our community stronger by telling their stories is not just a tagline, but a way of life for our staff as they connect with you, our loyal readers and advertisers. Our team thanks you for always reading, always reaching out, and always helping toward our shared vision. Check out any of our 5 editions or visit valleybreeze.com for more.
John Chan sent me a little note to remind you that Mother's Day is a special day at Chan's on Main Street in Woonsocket. Happy Mother's Day. Reserved today to be sure there's room for Mom at table. Remember, Mom, on her special day, treat her to the best Chinese restaurant, Chan's. Best wonton soup, teriyaki, egg rolls, crab rangoon, chicken wings, boneless ribs, Mongolian steak, walnut shrimp delight. General Chow's chicken, lo mein fried rice, and that's just a tip of the iceberg. 32 special combination dinners, the best Mai Tai and scorpion bowls too, the poo-poo platter. Oh, my goodness, it's Chan's. And, of course, if you're thinking I just made you hungry, keep in mind the telephone number to call for delivery, 765-1900. It's 765-1900 for Chan's, 267 Main Street in Woonsocket. Yummy.
The Rhode Island Wind Ensemble returns to the St. Anne Arts and Cultural Center on Sunday, May 19th at 3 p.m. with a program entitled Timeless. The concert will feature special guests Rhode Island Sound Brass Quintet and Native American singer Victoria Hazard. Tickets are $20 and are available at Belos Flowers, Creative Impressions, The Honey Shop, Timeless Antiques, and Vos True Value Hardware. Visit the St. Anne Arts and Cultural Center website for more information.
We're back here on Coffee Ann on ON AM and FM radio. Hope that everything's okay with Rich Elaine, because I don't see him here on the show this morning, and we were dearly hoping that he would be with us today.
But I do
that's why
have
you don't
Post
hear
85 events pulled
and
up
that's
on
my
my
lead
phone.
into Melissa looking it up on our. Is this our website here with all the events and stuff?
We
Or
do
going
have
to go to their website.
Right. So they do a really great job on their website, which is FairmountPost85.org, and they have a whole list of events. If you click on the little events tab, they have all of their events flyers, and their outside events start on May 4th, which is tomorrow, which is really exciting, out in their pavilion. And that event is the Boobification event from 1 to 7 p.m.
Right.
that we've been talking
Talked
about.
about last week, yeah.
Yep. Then their band starts Saturday, May 25th, Wicked West, June 1st, which is coming very soon, Radio Badland. But all of these events can be found on their website, which is Fairmount Post 85, the number 85.org. And they do a really good job of keeping everyone up to date.
Very nice. Okay, Post 85, one of the movers and shakers in our neighborhood.
Yes, they are actually.
And, yeah, they are. Interesting thing. Let's go outside the area and talk about a couple of things here, Melissa. For instance, the debate over abortion continues. Mm-hmm. And we had a story a couple months ago that there is a pill. I guess they call it a morning after pill or whatever it is.
Mifepristone.
They came, yeah, right.
Right.
Mifepristone is the name of the drug by its druggy name.
Yep.
Or drug name. So in marketing, they call it lots of other different things, I guess. But it's been available. It's been somewhat permitted and not permitted by different states in their laws.
Right.
Rhode Island is Rhode Island is a state that allows it to be used, and I believe without a prescription in Rhode Island. And CVS and Walgreens have decided now to start selling it online across the country.
Yeah, it's very safe.
This is disturbing to the folks in Louisiana, who they have. Well, they have a near total abortion ban in Louisiana, and that is the decision that they have made for their state and their state's residents. They are now putting up a bill in their House of Representatives that is going to put a new twist on this
if you have the pill on you, you go to jail. Doesn't matter how you got it. Cross state lines, through an online pharmacy, whatever. If you have mifepristone on you, you go to jail, period. No discussion.
So, mifepristone is used for other things.
Well, yeah, and then they found out that, hey, it'll cause a miscarriage or stop a pregnancy.
It will end a pregnancy.
Yeah.
And very safely, I would actually the chances of you dying or getting ill from mifepristone is way less than actually being pregnant and having a child. Are the maternal mortality rates in this country are, for a country like us, are abysmal. So it's
not anymore. That's another story.
Okay.
We are back to pre-pandemic levels.
Oh well,
We've dropped down into the only hundreds instead of the thousands.
Right, great.
That's another story. Just came out in the wire today.
So, but mifepristone is used for other things like uterine fibroids, like which can bleeding. Some women have to take this drug for quality of life and for medical reasons that are not to end a pregnancy.
Not in Louisiana.
Right. So if you have endometriosis, if you have uterine fibroids, which is like super common, and you're taking mifepristone, so you're just going to have to suffer now. That's not pro-life. That's just controlling women. I know that's a big statement. You're looking at me like, wow.
No,
but no. I mean, you
make it a sexist thing. Men are just as affected by this as women are.
But men don't take mifepristone.
That doesn't make any difference. Men and women live together. Men and women are in relationships or married together. And what affects one does affect, maybe in a different way and less directly, but does affect the other.
But this is about controlling people's bodies and
this
controlling
is about giving in to a political faction.
Well, yes, and that too. So, I mean, it would be like, oh, well, we're gonna, make this. You start banning one drug, where's that gonna lead? Now,
Whack-a-mole.
Right. You're gonna start banning another. Are you gonna also ban Viagra? I mean, like, what would happen if that happened? Like, then you'd get a whole
You
other...
wouldn't need the mifepristone.
Well, but, I mean, like,
For the example you used.
This is just selective saying, like, oh, well, this is... First they tried to say it wasn't safe, and then it was proven that it's safe. Okay. And now they're saying, well, we just don't want it now. We don't care if it's safe, we just don't want it. Mm-hmm. Because we don't want you to do this. But it's going to affect a whole other population of people that are going to have, really bad quality of life.
Well, we can be happy that we live in the biggest little state in the union.
We can.
Because that's not affecting us here.
No, we are protected here, and you can get the medication that you need if you can afford it. Mm-hmm. That's our biggest challenge.
All righty. Well, what else did we... Oh, yes, the union hotel workers protesting in Providence. Unionized hotel workers in Providence are demanding higher wages and better benefits. They say that since the pandemic, jobs have been cut, creating poor working conditions and reduced guest services, while reservation rates have reached record highs.
Yeah, they actually
Dozens of workers rallied outside the Omni Hotel and marched to City Hall to bring attention to their cause. I believe this was Wednesday when they did this. According to Unite Here, Local 26 contracts at several hotels in the city have expired or will expire by the end of the year, and they want more dough because, listen,
doesn't
the
everyone?
pandemic affected everybody.
Yeah.
And it would, can you imagine with travel bans and all these other restrictions that were going on and bans against large assemblies they were germinated by the government and then propagated by private citizenry. During the pandemic, and we all remember it, owning a hotel in Providence mustn't have been the thing that anybody wanted to do.
Exactly.
Because you still had to pay your taxes, you still had to pay this, that, and the other thing. Yes, you could cut down on staffing and the rest of that, but there was a limit to how much you could cut down, but the place was empty. Now, when the good times come again and people are booking rooms again, there is the urge to, okay, let's not go spending the money so unwisely. We have to kind of make back the money we missed making in order to get even. There's a net loss with a pandemic, and they're trying to not have a net loss over a period of years because they'll make it back. And the union is saying, no, that's not how it goes. And I don't know. What are you going to do?
Yeah, I mean, this was...
The big story is hotel rates in Providence go up.
I will admit this has been off my radar. I've had a lot going on.
Sure you
so I haven't really been paying attention to this particular story, even though it was right down the street from where I work at my other job.
Time for us to go, Melissa.
Okay.
I've got some pictures to take here, some staff members, and get ready for the next program, which is, of course, Do You Remember, coming up in a half an hour over most of these same radio stations. And we will be seeing you again on Monday, as Joe will still be on vacation. Remember Bruce Palmer tomorrow afternoon from 47 with the Saturday Block Party. Casey has 3 shows over the weekend, plus we get Dave Cause. All kinds of special things going on for you over the weekend. And we'll see you Monday morning on the Morning Fun Show. We'll see you later on in the office.
We sure will. And please go out to the Post this weekend.
Yes, go out to the Post this weekend. Thank you.
Broadcasting live and local daily from the Navigant Credit Union broadcast studio at the corner of Park Avenue and Kennedy Street. This is